Hello there everyone, and welcome to Empire Total War with Darth Mod. We're playing as the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and last time around we fought a battle over at the farmland, and with that we took control of the high ground above the harbour where the main Ottoman army is now stationed. The one that is in our way if we're going to lay siege to Athens and take the Ottomans' last holding in Europe. And yeah, I mean, I haven't done a turn or anything, so there's nothing really to speak about. So without further ado, we'll take the army from the high ground and we'll march down to attack the Ottoman army at Thessaloniki trade port. The Ottoman army outnumbers us by about 3,000 men, but that hasn't really been a problem in the past. The thing that I can see as a problem is they've got an organ gun, which is pretty darn nasty. Other than that, I think we'll run over most. You know what? Pikemen, that could be nasty, since my main strategy has been to just run over the enemy with my newly recruited winged hussars. But they, seemingly what I can see, there's only one, and then there's the rest are a lot of weaker infantry units. They have a bit of cannons. So the cannons, the pikemen, I think are the biggest threat. Then we've got some cavalry that could probably stop the progress of my cavalry towards the enemy. So we'll probably not be able to run down the entire enemy army with just the lances. So we'll have to think of another strategy for that. But first, we need to see the field of battle. And for that, we'll have to step right into it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do just that. As we march down from the high ground of that farmland that we took over in the last video, it seems the weather has taken a turn from the worse. And it looks like it's kind of foggy. Anyways, my plan is as follows. So the Ottoman army is arrayed something, they've done something over there. My plan is, as you can see, my infantry is here. So I intend to march up towards the road. And we'll draw a line kind of from there towards here. So kind of on a slant like that towards the enemy's line. Hopefully the enemy will counter that by drawing their line similarly, and once they do that, that will open up for my lancers to come in from the flank and just sweep them all away. That's the plan anyways. We'll see if we're able to actually successfully do that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start. And the Ottomans deploy way further back than I thought they would. Which kind of breaks my plan. But not to worry. I'm still gonna continue with the plan. We're just gonna have to think about it a little bit differently. Gonna start off by telling the cannons to hold fire. Seemed like we're already breaking one of the Ottoman cannons, which was arrayed over here. Already lost two of its guns. I am looking for the nasty cannon. Oh, have we killed the nasty cannon? Yes, we have! The absolute first thing that happens is an absolute success, where we managed to break down the entire cannon and its crew in the first volley. Oh, they're firing on my cavalry, the bastards. I guess they knew the strong. They know the strong point of my army. Now, when I actually see their army, it looked like it was more cavalry than I thought. Definitely gonna have to enable my cannons to fire again, so it would be nice if my troops could move through. I think they'll make it through, possibly. Okay, I think the guards might lose a few men. 3 men or something were shot down. Yes, 3 of our own dudes, unfortunately. But I need my guns firing because I need to break the enemy's artillery because I want to stop them from shooting at my cavalry. So hopefully the plan is everything's going according to plan. So I can kind of see them lining up. We can see this troop is standing like this, which is exactly like I wanted it. The problem is, of course, the village. We're gonna be able to push with the cavalry and get rid of everything on that side, but not on this side. So it could be that we then need to deploy extra troops over on that side. And our cannons, just given the abysmal placement of the enemy's cannon, is sort of giving us more than ample chance here to defeat their cannons pretty easily. So I think we will go ahead and continue with our plan. But what I think we'll do at this point is I'll take 2nd rank as well and put it in with the 1st rank, and we're going to draw the line. Where's the end of the map here? Okay, I'm not going to draw it from all the way, but we're going to draw it from here. And we're going to advance into firing range against these. And I think we'll go through the forest and to that tree right there. And as we have the Grenadiers, the Grenadier Guard as reserve, I think we need a little bit of possibly thicker lines and a little bit closer over to the left. We have a large amount of enemy troops moving out here. I want to start the main fight back and forth here before we send in the Hussars. Oh, there is their... I think this was quite an elite unit. Oh, they don't even have... I thought when I saw them in the lineup that they were musket unit, but they weren't. So the enemy... Oh, there's their pikemen. You know what? Their cannons aren't really doing anything, are they? They're not really inflicting that much damage on us. So I want to break down the only thing that can really kind of stop. What are these people? Pajama people. They have like nothing on them. So I can definitely see us just riding down all of this. There's so many weak troops. And they're not, seemingly they're not placing anything in the village. And then the cavalry is a little bit all over the place. But then again, they don't have a proper general for this army. They only have like a cavalry unit to act as a general. I'm gonna go ahead and order the advance, so we actually start getting into musket fights with these, and hopefully we can drag in the rest of the enemy force. So as we're firing from an angle, I'm hoping we're getting pretty good shots. We're all aiming though. Look at that, the enemy is advancing at the same time we're advancing. And they're kind of moving towards our lines. They're really close to the to our lancers. So it looks like the Ottomans might very well be moving into attack right now. Musket fire has opened up in the center. And I'm going to order the cannons to fire someone else now. Just because I don't want them to hit the lancers as they move in. So the enemy's kind of bunching up. I think if we shock them, we might be able to get rid of them. And then these will try and go around, kinda. So these will go in from the flank of the enemy. and is already kind of causing panic within their enemy unit, then these will hopefully be going in from the coming in from the side like that. Oh, look at this. What an absolute mess throughout all of this. The line is holding though. The line is holding. There's so much going on right now, and I need to focus on the cavalry, which is crushing it. Nothing can stand against my lances. And as we were moving in from the side, the pikes broke. Which is actually, I can't remember what the name of the battle is, but it actually happened. But against Sweden. And the main thing of the battle was that the Polish army realized kind of that they weren't going to be able to take on the Swedish at their high point in the battle, and so they marched off. Or maybe it was a feint maneuver, I can't exactly remember, but anyways, once the Swedes moved down, then the pikes moved down, not directly but kind of to the side, and that opened up for them to be charged kind of in the side, and with not having the pikes prepared. Oh, we actually have a break in the center. The thing is, they're gonna just run into the guard grenadiers. So with them marching down from the side like that, they were actually broken and routed, and it was kind of, as I recall, it was kind of a spectacular victory for the Polish Lithuanians. So our center is broken down, and the enemy is kind of going through. This side is holding for now, but I think we'll actually redraw the lines, both sides. Redraw to safety, and then have the cavalry break down the enemy by charging in from the back. A few units might not be able to get out of there. I'll form them into squares, but hopefully most will make it back. And we got the guard grenadiers, so the tired enemy, which have been fighting our men and charging across open field. Once they get towards the guards there in the second rank, they're not gonna have a lot to put up against them. And as we can see, my lancers are kind of running them all down. Unfortunately though, I think that quite a few of the enemy's units will be able to actually escape the battlefield intact. Well, not intact, but they won't be utterly broken like one might have hoped. So the lancers are starting to get tired, but the thing is, the enemy forces that remain are shot to pieces, and they are probably even more tired from trying to fight their way through the Polish musket ranks. And we just can see the mass of hussar. Oh, there we go. This battle only took 12 minutes. Stunning success, and they all were defeated. I think this one probably went quicker than the other one, which is surprising because there's a lot more men. There's twice as many Ottomans fighting in this battle. But I guess that just meant there were more bodies to feed the crows. as my hussars ride them all down. So definitely good, the hussars are definitely good, but we've only, you know, run down these pajama people. So we haven't really come up against a Western force. So it's been different to see them once we send them against the Austrians and the Russians. But with that said, that's the battle, so let's end turn and see if I cannot march on Athens, since we have quite a lot of time left in the episode. Over half. And here we have the result of the battle. So we lost a lot of more men than last time. We almost lost half the army, 2,000 men lie dead because of the frontal charge of the Ottomans. A lot of their infantry were sword infantry. So no surprise there. But our cavalry came in at the right time and slew them all. Actually, a line infantry is the highest killer, or quite a few line infantries. And then winged hussars coming in as well here. But that's pretty good. Highest losses go for the line infantry, and you can see that the losses are quite high. This one lost everything but 41 men, and there's quite a few that are really down. All that line infantry that was sent over from the garrison in Constantinople definitely took a hell of a beating. So it could definitely be nice. It cost me 9,000 to replenish. So it could definitely be good to get these guys replenished before I actually lay the siege. And also I want to get rid of these guys. So might detach troops from over here to deal with them. But besides that, I'm gonna end turn, and we're gonna see if I can't move into position to attack Athens and push the Ottomans out of Europe. It could be that we can get... Oh, look at that. Have the Dutch... I don't know if the Dutch... Is that a new thing, that the Dutch have captured more territory? I don't think I saw them so clearly on the map before. They were at war with France and the pirates. And they're allies with Austria, Hanover, and Cherokee nations. That's one of the things. Once we go against war with Austria, they are at war with Hanover, and those are bordering us. They're allies with Hanover. They're Spain, Venice, United Province, Mughal Empire. So that'll bring in quite a lot against us. Denmark. Oh, Denmark still lives out there on Iceland. Huh. Kind of looks like Charlie, doesn't it? He's allied with Russia. Little Denmark. But Russia isn't going to be that much of a problem. And Russia is only at war with the pirates in France. So I don't know what they're doing. So yeah. I'll see you, I think, once I'm ready to go ahead and attack Athens. I've halted my army outside of Athens as we're waiting for reinforcements to replenish our force, which I think will happen within a turn or two. But with that, I actually received word that my navies have arrived. The thing is, down here, the Ottoman force is much stronger. Individually, my ships are stronger, but they have a lot more of them. So my are 56 cannon ships with 192 crew, while I think there are 166. So that's probably 46 cannons or something like that. But just because there's so many of them, I think we'll go ahead and make sure that the fleets are coordinated at the same time to attack the enemy. However, I sent one over here to kind of find out if we had a chance to win a battle here, or if there was enemies here. And there was actually a small Ottoman force, and I think this one will be much easier for us to take. It's quite an even fight. They have slightly more ships, but that's because they've got a few smaller ships added on to this. So we've got roughly the same force. I have one more 5th rate ship compared to the enemy, while the enemy then has a sloop and a brig to add on to that. So we're gonna have a naval fight here instead of having the siege of Athens. Also, I brought out Kaminsier with his army of national lancers to chase down the enemy force, and they broke down most of them, but a few has been able to retreat, and so there's maybe some chances that they'll burn some land over in Bulgaria. Also, I need to possibly assassinate this guy or get rid of him because he's spreading I was about to say Muslimism, but he's spreading the wrong kind of religion in this region, and that's causing unhappiness, so I really need to get rid of him. But capturing a trade node would be really nice. Not that I need the money, because I'm making tons of money. But the thing is, once the really great war starts, when I take on Russia and Austria, possibly at the same time, I'm gonna need a lot of money, and we probably need to upgrade our fleet more than I'm desperate and more desperate to upgrade my army. So we'll have to make sure that, because one thing that you guys didn't see, which I didn't show, was that during, I don't know which one of the wars, but the enemy managed to block my main trade port, and because of how much trade I make, or how much money I make from trade, yeah, look at this. So tax income is 32,000, while trade is 49,000. So losing that, I lose over half of my income if a port would be blockaded or raided. So that's definitely something we need to really step up, is our navy. But with that said, let's join into battle with the Ottoman force here on the coast of Brazil or Argentina, I don't know. South America anyways. So yeah, we've got 5 5th rates with a bit of experience. They've got 4 plus 2, 1 brig and 1 sloop, so it's even fight. And yeah, without further ado, let's see if Mr. Fink can sink this Ottoman navy. And the fight is about to start. We can see the Ottoman ship has opened fire on one of ours, the Crack. And the idea was to have 2 forces moving on either side and firing on the Ottoman in between this. And also it started off as me actually going into the wind, which I didn't like. So the idea was to move up ahead in my deploy zone, that I can actually move with the wind instead of against it. But it seems as though the Ottomans are kind of outsmarting me. They were going directly through here, but then they quickly turned, so they could be outnumbering this ship right here before these guys arrived. The idea was that they would continue here, these would go in, break them in middle, and then these would come run alongside. And right now that's not happening. I think I will still kind of break through there, so we can see if we can break this one through, and I'll kind of purposely park this one right in front of this one, stopping most of it and kind of splitting the Golden Horse, which I think is their enemy admiral, and kind of splitting him off from the rest of his fleet. So we're coming close here, running up, and we'll weigh anchor right there. And the thing is, if that doesn't stop him, I've got the second ship coming up right afterwards, and then these will just run through everything and fire as they go. This one will also stop, just to make sure that we stop the enemy completely. There's quite a fight here. They're lining up to try and fire back at us. I think it's time for you to hold as well. So as we can see here, we've split the Admiral away from the rest of the Ottoman fleet. This ship has taken heavy damage, as we can see, and now this one is able to escape. But I think I will be able to do quite the number on the enemy's fleet here. It did take a heavy toll on this ship right here. Okay, so it's splitting up their force, but it took a heavy toll on this one and it's wavering, so it might very well break and run away. It's on fire now as well, so that definitely lends to kind of leaning towards Ottoman victory. Heavy fire into this one. Might have wanted to fire canister at that, because we would have been able to lay the canister pretty darn good onto the crew there. The sloop was fired on either side as the big ships passed, and the sloop is at this point routing. However, we have suffered much more at the hands of the Ottoman than the Ottoman have of us. What I'm going to do is we've isolated kind of this one from the rest, so I'll bring all my ships over there to make sure that we break him, and we'll still maintain kind of an advantage, as I will have 4 fifth rates against the Ottomans 3, plus we've dealt so much damage to the brig and the sloop that they're not gonna be able to really take part in any major way in this battle. So now we're gonna sandwich the Elsram. We're gonna have our ships coming in from either side and blast him to pieces. He's already wavering. It's just getting worse. But he keeps fighting. The thing is, the Ottoman fleet is over here, so we need to start turning our ships around to prepare for going against the rest of it. So the sloop has been sunk. I kind of missed that, but that one took so much damage there that yeah, it sank. It didn't really have that much hull strength, so it's no surprise really that it sank. And now I'm just going to turn around, and what it looks like right now is we're going to have 2 on this side, 2 on this side, and want to sweep towards the Ottomans. Hopefully, before they are able to come into any kind of good formation. The thing is, we're going to have to run at them, because if I decided to go further there, then that's no good. So yeah, right now it's not looking too good. What we're gonna do is we're gonna have these actually swing back there. We can hit the brig and hopefully maybe sink that, and also hit the enemy, come up from this side, hit the enemy in the back. But we'll have to run alongside them. Let's see, which is the Admiral ship? Is this one? It would be nice if these guys could come back, but they've suffered so much, and apparently they're still on fire, which they don't seem to be doing anything about. So this boat could definitely explode. Now this one's not doing too nice. The Commandor. It suffered heavily on one of its sides. But if I get just one good broadside off, really, against the brig, then the brig is gone. I think we're showing the enemy the more intact side of this ship. So at this point I would say I have the advantage in that I have 4 fifth rates against the enemy's 3 and their brig. But my ships are heavily damaged, and I think we've got one of our ships is on fire. I saw a fire symbol here for a second ago. And my kind of lineup is very messed up here. I think what we'll do is we'll halt you. We'll slow you down. Kind of slow you down, and you will stop completely and turn against the enemy. So the enemy's got the wind as they're passing down, and they will be able to pass around us, which is not great. But right now there's not really much I can do. We want to inflict as much damage as possible. This one's gonna sink, and not only that, he's lost his main sail. We're gonna just inch forward here, slowly firing up the back of the enemy. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna swing around like this and come back at the enemy, because there's no good way to follow them. This one's kind of lying still, just lying in wait there, taking all the shots up the arse, which is pretty nice. And to the point where he's on fire apparently, and wavering, which is nice. However, this one is not doing too well and could definitely do with some repairs. I think he is riding pretty low in the water. Oh, there's no like repair thing in Empire. He's about to sink, I believe. Right, I want you guys to turn around and kind of go for the golden horse. And I don't know... Yep, you're sinking. He was riding really low in the water there. He'd taken massive amounts of damage on this flank. And it's time to abandon ship. Not very nice, but what can you do? It's an kind of an even fight right now, 3 versus 3. What we want to do is, I think we'll go full sails into the wind, and we'll try to focus on this one, because he's he's gonna be a bit isolated from the rest. So if I can focus in fire on him, which I think that's the Admiral ship, the Golden Horse. So that would definitely be nice. Also, if you could go there. Right now I have 2 of my 5th rates firing on him. It's a kind of long range though, and hopefully we can kind of outrun this one. So keep up the fire there with 2 on this one. Plus we're firing on what I think is his, yeah, it's his weaker side. So he's lost a lot more on this side. And also probably means that he's got less cannons able to fire on this side. There's very little activity on his ship. I don't want them to fire on this guy though, which I'm not entirely sure who fired the cannons towards that one. Oh, it's probably this guy. So I want to turn against this. And oh, you're riding in front of this, which is not that nice. Kind of blocking him. See if I can get him, this one, kind of in between there, so we get all 3 focusing in on the Golden Horse, which I think we kind of got at this point. Inflicting loads of damage, and we'll see if he starts to riding low. He seems to be riding a little bit low on this side, so it could be that, very well be that he's taken on water at this point because he's lost so much. Yeah, you can definitely start to see the tilt, so I think we're going to be able to sink the bastard there. I wonder why you're wavering when you're not even kind of on the front line there, and you're lagging behind a bit. Oh, they are firing through and firing for this guy. So they're trying to even the score by, as we are pushing one of their ships out of action, they're pushing one of ours. I mean, he has very little hull left. So if I can just get one really good broadside off here. Oh yeah, you need to... maybe if I control it. Oh, he's riding very heavy now. I wonder if I'll even be necessary to fire at him. He might just sink as he... Yep, there we go. He just sank as he went. And then I can focus in on this guy instead. I wonder if you should just block that other one in. And as it comes into range... Thing is, the other enemy ship is in the way, and I don't want to... I want every cannonball to count here. We're firing would be firing a little bit ahead of him. I think there's the target I want. Pretty darn nice. We're blocking off this guy, and we can see that both the enemies are now routing. Clearly this wasn't the Admiral, because it hasn't given us a message that the enemy Admiral is dead. But it's lucky then that I didn't dare the fight over in Africa against the enemy fleet over there, because that could have gone really bad, as the enemy was outnumbering me, and I thought I had this one pretty well in the bag, but clearly I didn't. Oof, this one took heavy damage. And he might very well give up here. And this one suffered a lot. And this is the only really strong one. Oh, I are routing, so now it's 2 versus 2. But I'm firing up the arse of this one. If I can get on his weak side, that's gonna make a major difference, but I'm kind of riding against the wind, which is not nice. We'll put this one in between. And I think since most of their... Oh, he's back. Good. So I think we can rout the enemy fleet just by them noticing that, you know what, the fight is definitely over. Oh, it's my Admiral in between there. That could be really bad if he dies here. He's in a bad position in between the enemy, and now he is routing. He was routing for a little bit. Come on. Give this one. He's routing again. Kind of goes back and forth there. Come back and just give this guy everything you've got as his weak side. Ooh. The Admiral he can't decide if he's gonna rout or if he's not gonna rout. Oh, he surrendered at this point. The Admiral surrendered, which is not great. I still have 2 versus there. I think this one's definitely not gonna put up a good fight. And he's probably skedaddling at this point. Might even sink, given the amount of damage we've done to him. Oh, he's back. But I want to focus in on this. Damn, this battle goes on forever. It's almost gone on for 30 minutes, which... it's a bit long, but I guess people who don't like naval battles can just... go ahead and just end the video. They probably did that anyways as soon as they saw going into naval. So I don't want to maneuver too much at this point. I want to just lay the shots in there. Especially on this guy. The enemy's wavering. Still have 38 guns here. Let's run up here and attack that one. This one isn't really able to... how many guns do I have on this side? So we have 20 on that side and 6 on that side. So yeah, the weaker side definitely not gonna... Okay, I guess the idea here is to go in between the enemy. If this guy is able to shoot on the damage side though, that's gonna end this ship, and then there'll be just one against... okay, so we have 23 against this guy. I'm gonna lay in front of this. Lay in front of him, stop him from being able to maneuver correctly, and then this guy is gonna just keep circling around, pushing shot into him. I'm gonna isolate him and destroy him. I've been trying to isolate them for quite a while, but it hasn't really worked out, has it? Come on, he's right in between us. And he's got like, he's riding heavy in the water, he's about to sink. That guy looks like he's about to sink. Come on, push those shots in and end him. Oh, he surrendered. Meaning it's only that guy left. Turn around. I mean, that guy has no hull left on the side we're firing at. So we will be victorious. There we go. He's sinking. Oh, he surrendered. He surrendered and he's sinking at the same time. And I mean, it was very much to the very last man that we fought this one. And given the amount of time this took, I think we'll end it right here. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. And hopefully I'll see you guys for the Siege of Athens.